Assalamu alaikum. At the outset, I must congratulate all the participants who maintained reasonable fluency, consistency and continuity as well. Oral communication is the oldest medium of communication, and speech is an effective means of oral communication. A clear and graceful speech is more significant and important to this age than ever before. Now, considering the duration of the English period that we have started to learn, if I were to give you the ratings of your performance, I would say good. But good is not good where better is expected. So there is always room for improvement. And in fact, the performance that you give within a short duration is really appreciated. There are some points which I would like to highlight so that you can improve in the subsequent elocution competition. The first and foremost is the body language. Body language means your gestures and posture plays very vital. And your voice modulation, intonation. These are the important factors to be taken care of while delivering lectures. You are paying more attention for the contents of the speech. But when we judge here, we pay only 10% or 12% to the contents that we have. Or in other words, you can say in any elocution competition, debates, or even public speeches, it matters less what you say, but it matters the most how you say. So the more percentage goes to the presentation and the language. The factors they have to keep in mind in subsequent elocution competition is the correct articulation, enunciation, and pronunciation. Very vital factors to keep in mind. Now, there are many things that I have noted down here. I would like to point out one or two, but there is no time here to describe everything in detail. Whenever you have verb ending with T and D, verbs ending with T and D. For example, want, people say wanted, unite, so some say united, then reported. These are very common mistakes in fact. So any verb that ends with T or D and you are to pronounce in the past tense, so you can't say wanted, it is with I, always pronounce with Z, wanted. Wanted में ये लग जाता है, ये नहीं, Z लगना है. Means if you want to pronounce instead of E, you have to pronounce with I, wanted, then reported, united, with I, always pronounce with I. Similarly, demanded, decided, and regarded. That is one. Secondly, we have a word called grand. It is a grand exhibition. You can use this word grand separately, but when this same word comes in relation, for example, some says grandfather of the Prophet Muhammad. So when we use the grand word in relation, we cannot pronounce the word D. D is silent there. So it is grandfather, grandmother, granddaughter, and so on. So in relations, D is not pronounced. Otherwise, it is pronounced. Then I would like to name. Actually, I don't want to name, but I would like to name Sir Jagir Sahab. You are looking only to the ground when you are addressing. When you are addressing a gathering, don't mind it. This is for your improvement, and this is for all. Don't look at one place, at down or at the roof or at the corner. Always make an eye contact to the audience so that you are talking to each one of them. Everyone feels in the audience that you are talking to it, and this is possible only when you make a U shape. You see U shape to the hall, and then in the center, so you can have a better eye contact. And third is pause. I know you have very limited time here, so you continue and you try to finish your topic as early as possible. But otherwise, always give a pause in your speech. Little pause. In communication, it is called pregnant pause, meaningful pause. That is very important. Then gesture, posture. Now this comes with the passage of time. But at present, you concentrate on 3C. At present, there are many factors like intonation is there, pitch is there, quality is there, rhythm is there, continuity is there, tone quality is there, accent is there. These are all characteristics of good speech, but at once you cannot adopt all these things. So at present, you pay attention to 3C. Number one, clarity. Be clear to what you are saying. It is a very, very essential feature of a good speech. If your speech is clear and unambiguous, that means audience can understand you very easily. That is first. Second, conciseness. Don't be too long in your speech. Be concise. As concise, your speech should be as concise as possible, yet comprehensive in meanings and contents. That's very important. Then, last but not the least, your stance. The way you stand up here. Always stand with chest straight, chin up. This will give you confidence. And the legs slightly apart. And it is preferable to have one foot slightly ahead of the other so that you can transfer the load within the speech from one foot to another. That's very important. And it is said that how your speech should be. It should not be too long so people will get bored. It should not be too short so that the audience cannot understand. So there is a proverb. There are two proverbs regarding how your speech should be. The first proverb says, your speech should be like a pencil. Your speech should be like a pencil. It should have a point. It should have a point. And the second quotation, or the proverb you can say, I quote from the former Prime Minister of England, Winston Churchill. He was a Nobel laureate. He said, a good speech should be like a girl's skirt. A good speech should be like a girl's skirt, long enough to cover the subject and short enough to create interest. May Allah accept all your efforts for your future. Thank you very much.